Why does Aladdin turn out to be such a princess? Stay tuned. It won't work, Mr. Fluffy Fooler. You cannot free the genie. This lamp is just a replica. Besides, most genies nowadays have moved on to becoming actors or motivational coaches.
Oh, shucks.
Greetings. My name is Alcott Scoffer, and I denounce Hollywood movies as if they weren't enough of a pitiful sight already. Today, we are going to review Aladdin. No, not that one. No, not that one. The new Aladdin. One of the cartoon-made-into-movie remakes that Disney persistently tries to feed us with. Long story short, a young thief lives up to the Cinderella dream, getting happily married to a wealthy female sultan. It's really entertaining how unoriginal all Disney stories turn out to be, even when their creators try so hard to remain up to date.
Oh, come on, Mr. Scoffer, sir. That's the reason Disney stories are so popular. They are fairy tales with a happy ending. Everyone needs a good old fairy tale once in a while.
Not me. And especially not a fairy tale of such poor quality. The genie seemed like the only character worthy of taking a look at. Jasmine's father, Sultan, lacked personality. Jasmine and Aladdin could be replaced with cardboard figures with inscriptions, ambitious princess and noble thief. And Jafar, don't get me started on that one.
Oh, I remember Jafar from the cartoon. He was too scary. So cunning, so dark, so mean.
And that's exactly what made him a good villain. If the bad guy cannot give you a good scare, what's the point of having him in the movie at all? Making Marwan Kenzari Jafar was a horrible casting choice. You can't say the actor didn't try to play his role. His desperate attempts to do it made me cringe. It's not about acting, it's about not being a fitting choice. His Jafar seems way too young, hysterical, and impulsive. He didn't feel like a threat, more like an offended medieval emo with a pretty face. Becoming the ruler of Agrabah? Please, it's hard to understand how he managed to become Grand Vizier. Even the darkest magic has its limits.
Now that you've said that, I remember that the new Jafar didn't get to turn Aladdin's main music theme against him. In fact, he didn't get a single musical number in the movie, and villains usually get the best songs.
Maybe the degree of Jafar's potentially unsatisfactory performance became obvious long before the filming process. Who knows?
Then what about the plot? It seemed nice, a typical Disney story.
The creators tried to expand the characters' backgrounds and motivations, but they never did that to the necessary extent. I mean, fine, now we know that the Sultan is being overprotective when it comes to Jasmine because her mother got killed. But we never know how or why her mother was killed. Was she as independent as her daughter? Did she have political ambitions?
Oh, these are actually very good questions, sir. I wish I knew more about Jasmine's mother and her death. Was she a thorn in the side of the Sultan's advisors, and was her death the result of a ploy? Or was she killed by her enemies on the battlefield? She must have been a strong woman. But I only get this feeling from the occasional slip of the tongue by the Sultan. I liked it how the scriptwriters dealt with a similar situation in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Hiccup's mother, Valka, is a missing figure in the first movie, but in the sequel, we find out that she is alive, and that Hiccup got his love of dragons from her. That adds to Hiccup's character, and I bet some additional information on Jasmine's mother would give us better insight on Jasmine herself.
Be careful with what you wish for. You've just said it yourself. They needed a sequel in How to Train Your Dragon to show the mother's character. I don't want a sequel of Aladdin. Thank you very much.
There is another thing that kind of bothers me. Why not teach Jasmine the dangers of the outer world, instead of locking her up in a palace? The Sultan must have realized that he won't be there forever to protect her.
Oh, that one is easy to explain. He planned to pass her on to a wealthy husband. a common mistake made by fathers in the olden days and fairy tales. Still, in the movie, Sultan wasn't just comic relief, so he really could have better thought this one through. But what do you want from a movie where the main villain is a former thief who somehow turns into a powerful magician? And there is not a single explanation for that. Did Jafar become a sorcerer simply by finding his snake-like staff? Was that it? And why would a free genie automatically turn into a human? Hopefully, not for the sake of an additional love story between the former servants.
Oh, Mr. Scoffer, sir, you are being a little too harsh. Aladdin turned out to be a great movie in general. The music is wonderful, the picture is very colorful, and I really like the humor. The movie makes up for any insignificant flaws. For example, Jafar didn't get a musical number, but Jasmine did get her own song, and it was so awesome! And at least we got some backstories for the minor characters. And even though I don't want to compare the former version of Aladdin to the new one, some things became more realistic, huh?
By realistic, do you mean all the CGI and special effects?
No, the plot and the setting was more down to earth, huh? A believable and serious sultan, plenty of political issues and ambitious characters, women empowerment, and slavery issues. All of that adds up to the realism, doesn't it?
A single remotely realistic thing in that movie was the flying carpet.
Oh, do you believe in flying carpets as well? Me too!
I believe that if I got annoyed enough by my incompetent colleagues and interns, I could pick up a carpet and throw it at them with reasonable force, basically sending said carpet flying.
Oh.
Carry on.
Well, the importance of wording when you make a wish seems like a nice realistic detail.
True. I myself should have been more careful with wording when requiring an assistant.
Huh?
Nothing. Anyways, certain relatively acceptable elements do not save this movie. In my opinion, the new Aladdin proved to be an unoriginal, mediocre remake with some doubtful casting decisions. Therefore, Aladdin has been denounced.
Mr. Scoffer, what exactly are you trying to do?
The chances of having a live genie in this lamp are drastically low. But maybe, if I rub and wish long enough, Disney will stop creating unnecessary remakes and move on to decent, meaning less lousy, originals. What? Puppets have a right to dream!
Roar! Roar!